Good afternoon, all of you. In the previous class, we have seen derivation of Faraday's law from law of conservation of energy. Now, in this class, we are going to discuss about electric generator. So, previously we discussed about electric motor. Electric motor is a device that converts electric energy into mechanical energy. There, in the case of electric motor, we supply the electric energy. By utilizing it, electric motor converts that electric energy into mechanical energy. Okay, so in that way we use electric motors. Now in this class, let's see electric generator. Electric generator. Their electric motor converts electric energy into mechanical energy. So whereas here electric generator, it is a device, it converts mechanical energy into electric energy. So we get the electric current from the generators, electric generators. So here we have AC generator and a DC generator. We will discuss about these two later. Now let's see AC generator, alternating current generator. Now let's see how this AC generator generates the electrical current. So here we use Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. According to Faraday's law, if there is a change in the magnetic flux through a coil, then the current induces in that coil. So, depending upon the same principle, here this electric generator works. See, the electric generator consists of a rectangular coil having n turns, having n number of turns. So here one coil is connected to one slip ring, another coil is connected to another slip ring, and these are touches with the two brushes. These are the two slip rings and these are the two brushes. Yes, and there are consumers between these two brushes. Now let's see here how it generates the current. Okay, here there are two poles of strong magnets. One is north pole of a magnet and another one is a south pole of a magnet. These two poles of a magnet generates uniform magnetic field from a north pole to south pole. Okay, here these two poles of magnet generates uniform magnetic field, and in the uniform magnetic field we have taken a rectangular Y. Now here, if we rotate the rectangular coil, as we rotate this rectangular coil, the number of magnetic field lines passing through this surface of the coil goes on changes. Means there is a change of flux through this coil, and due to that change in the magnetic flux, through a coil, okay, the current induces in this coil, and this induced current flows through this coil, and finally, okay, the wires which are connected to the brushes, and here there are the consumers can get that generated current, okay. So as the coil rotates, so here how a coil rotates, so here we use okay, shaft or else armature, okay. So here that a shaft, rectangular coil is connected to that shaft, and finally the other end of the shaft is connected to the turbines or else any other yes, we can connect the turbines or something, okay. So as the turbines rotate, shaft rotates, along the shaft the rectangular coil rotates. As the coil rotates fastly, the change in magnetic flux takes place, and that change in magnetic flux induces the current and induces the EMF. That means if there is induced current in the coil, means there is before that there is some induced EMF. Now let's see here what is the direction of current and how current induces through a coil. So assume it is a rectangular coil having number of turns. One end of the coil is connected to one slip ring, and finally the other end of the coil is connected to the another slip ring, okay. Yes, and let's take in this orientation, assume here there is a north pole of a magnet, and here there is a south pole of a magnet, and there is uniform magnetic field from here to there. In this direction there is a uniform magnetic field. Now if we take the rectangular coil in this orientation, the more number of, that means the maximum number of magnetic field lines passes through this surface area, okay. Though we can't observe any current. Why? Yes, current induces when there is a change in the magnetic flux through a coil, not only by the flux. In this case the flux is a maximum because the surface area is perpendicular to the magnetic field lines, okay, and surface area perpendicular to the magnetic field lines, and more number of magnetic field lines passes through this coil in this orientation. Even though the flux is a maximum, the current is a zero. That means EMF is a zero because no change in the magnetic flux. That means let's take EMF is a zero in this orientation when the coil is vertical between the two poles of a magnet. Now as it rotates, what happens? Suppose assume for example in this orientation there are 100 magnetic field lines passing through the coil. As we rotate in this orientation, assume there are 90. That means 100 minus 90 is equals to what? 10 magnetic field line. The change in magnetic flux is 10. Okay. As we rotate, the number of magnetic field lines passing through this decreases, but the change in magnetic flux is increases. That means first assume 10 lines, okay, 90 lines passing, 100 minus 90 is a 10. Next assume 80 lines passing, 100 minus 80 is equals 20. Next assume 50 lines passing, 100 minus 50 is equals to 50. next assume 40, next assume 30, next assume 20, next assume 10, next assume 0. So in this orientation, the zero number of magnetic fields passes through this surface area. That means the change in the flux is maximum 100 minus 0. That means as we rotate the coil, the change in magnetic flux increases. Okay, with the increase of magnetic flux, the EMF also increases. Let's assume the EMF reaches to its peak stage. Okay, peak stage for quarter cycle. For a quarter cycle, that means for 1/4 cycle. For 1/4 cycle. Okay, and next, okay, next rotate the coil. What happens? Initially, what we assumed, the number of magnetic fields passing 100. Okay, now 10. 100 minus 10 is what? 90. Next 80. Next magnetic fields passing 50. 100 minus 50, 50. Next 100 minus 60. Next 100 minus 80. Next 100 minus 90. Next 100 minus 100. Okay, now, okay, the change in the flux is what? 0. 100 minus 100, 0. That means the change in the flux goes on, decreases and reaches to 0. That means the EMF also become a 0. So in this way, the EMF reaches to its peak. After that, its value reaches to 0. Now, assume here. So initially, okay, this is the direction of a induced current. This is the direction of induced current. Assume here there is a A, it is at the top. Here there is a B, it is at the bottom. So in this orientation, the current is in this direction. Why induced current flows in this direction means, as we rotate, okay, the change in the flux going to increase. Okay, the induced current always in the direction that oppose the original change of a magnetic flux. That means see here, okay, more number of magnetic fields are passing in this orientation. Okay, if a current flows in this direction, the current produced, the magnetic field produced by the induced current lies opposite to the direction of original magnetic field. The direction of original magnetic field is in this direction, whereas the direction of magnetic field produced by the induced current is in this direction. Okay, so okay, that is the induced current lies in a direction that oppose the increase of that oppose the change of a magnetic flux. Okay, as we rotate in this direction, the change in magnetic flux increases. Okay, so to oppose the change of a magnetic flux, induced current induces in this direction. If the induced current induces in this direction, the magnetic field produced by this lies opposite to this in this direction. Okay, so that's why induced current flows in this direction. Now see here, okay, after the half rotation, this A goes to bottom and B comes to up. Now in this orientation, the flow of current through the bottom wire is in this direction and through the top wire is in this direction. As it completes one rotation, half rotation, okay, this B comes to up and A goes to down. So further here, the current in this wire should be in this direction. When it is at the bottom, the direction of current is in this direction. When the B is at the top, the direction of current changes reverse to previous one. And here is A, and when it was at the bottom, the direction of flow of current is in this direction, but when it is at the bottom, the direction of current is in this direction. That means after the half rotation, the direction of a current changed in the top and bottom wires. That means after the half rotation, in the same way, the EMF goes on, increases. Okay, after that again it comes to zero. Okay, so this is the half rotation, and this is the 3/4 rotation, and this is after the one complete rotation. That means during a half rotation, the direction of current is in one direction, and during the half rotation, the direction is opposite to the previous. Okay, that means during the half rotation, its direction is a positive, and during the remaining half rotation, its direction is a negative. So in this way, the direction of a EMF and the current changes. Now let's see here. Okay, let's take, this is the wire 1, this is the wire 2. Okay, so when the wire 1 is at the top, its direction is in this way. After the half rotation, what happens? This one goes to in the position of a 2, and 2 goes to in the position of a 1. But okay, in the first half rotation, in the second half rotation, the second wire is in touch with the slip ring 2, and first this wire is, okay, number 1 labeled wire is in touch with this brush 1. That means, okay, through this, for the half rotation, the current direction is a positive. For the second half direction, the current direction is a negative. That means current flows having a positive and negative pulses in this way. Okay, so because, okay, throughout the full rotation, this wire which was labeled 1 is in current with the brush 1. That's why, that is, the current which flows in both the directions flows through this external circuit also, and here consumers can utilize that AC current. That means that alternating current. Okay, so this is the working of AC generator. As long as the coil rotates, the change in magnetic flux takes place, and that change in the magnetic flux induces the EMF and induces the current, and that induced current flows, okay, through the external coil, and here from the external wire the consumers can utilize. So this is working of AC generator, and here this is the graph drawn EMF induced versus number of revolutions. In the for the quarter cycle rotation, this is the EMF. For the next quarter cycle, this is the EMF. Okay, next quarter cycle, and for the next quarter cycle, this is the direction of how EMF induced changing in one complete revolution. In the same way, the induced current direction also changes. So this is a very simple the working of electric generator. So mostly for the examination purpose they ask, okay, draw the AC generator and label its parts. It is very easy to draw the diagram and to label the parts. See here, it is a rectangular wire. Okay, the one end of the wire is connected to the slip ring 1, and another one is connected to the slip ring 2. Okay, and it is in touch with the brush 1, or it is in touch with the brush 2. Here there are the 2 slip rings, and these 2 are brushes, and this is external circuit, external wire. Okay, so through this current supply takes place through the consumers, and here there are the two poles of magnets. One is a north pole and south pole. It creates a uniform magnetic field between these two poles. Okay, so as we rotate, what is the difference between electric motor and electric generator means? In the case of electric motor, we supply the electric current and that a coil rotates. That means electric energy converts in the mechanical energy. Whereas in the case of AC generator, okay, we rotate the coil and it generates the current. That means mechanical energy converting into electric energy. Now this is a AC generator. Now let's see here what is a DC generator. What is a DC generator? DC generator. Now see here, it is a very simple. Okay, no change in this. Only the change is we remove the full slip rings and we connect half slip rings. See here, this is connected to a half slip ring. Okay, and this is connected to another half slip ring in this way. Okay, let's take this is brush B1 and this is a brush B2 remaining as it is. Okay, and this is a DC generator. So why it is called as a DC generator? Because it produces the direct current. Okay, now see here what happens. Okay, at very first the wire labeled 1 is in touch with brush B1. Now in this direction the current is in the upward direction. After the half rotation, okay, this wire, okay, goes to here and the second wire comes to here. That means the wire which is in touch with the B1, okay, having the current direction always in this direction, and the wire which is in touch with the B2 have always the current direction is in this direction. That means here we are using two half slip rings. Okay, that means for both the rotations, the flow of a current through the wire which is in touch with the brush of B1 is the same. That means, okay, so in this way always the current direction is same. Okay, the current direction is the same and there is no change in the current direction, and this is a direct current. Okay, whereas in the case of AC generator, okay, depending upon the number of rotations of a coil per second, there is some frequency. But here in the case of DC current, we don't have such type of any frequency. The frequency of DC generator is 0. Okay, so because here after the half rotation the direction of current is not changing. Okay, what is the direction of a current through the wire? Okay, in the first half rotation, in the second half rotation also the wire which is in touch with the brush of B1 is the same. Okay, that means there is no change in the direction of current flowing through the external wire. So, okay, that is a DC generator. So the frequency of DC generator is 0. So this is about briefly that is working of AC generator and DC generator. In the AC generator, after the half rotation current direction changes, but in the case of a DC generator, after the half rotation current the current direction does not